Hello friends, in this tutorial we'll see networking. What is computer network? How we'll use this computer network for communication. Here is the Sumita Arora's textbook PDF. I will explain with the help of this PDF. Now very first thing is that the definition of network. Now by one of the author Tenenbaum, he defines a network as interconnected collection of autonomous computers. Two computers are said to be interconnected if they are capable of exchanging information. Now, it is very important to understand when you connect two or more computers, it should be capable of exchanging information, transferring information. Then only we can say that the computers are in a network. Central to this definition is the fact that computers are autonomous. This means that no computer on the network can start, stop, or control the another one. Okay, so autonomous computers by their own can work as a computer. No other computer should able to start, stop, or control the other computers. Now, why we need of networking, that we will discuss in this topic. So here we can see the very important points mentioned here is the resource sharing. The very first one is a resource sharing. The aim is to make all programs, data and peripherals available to anyone on the network irrespective of physical location of the resources and the user. Now, resource sharing is for programs as well as data and devices as well. So if you are having, just take an example, if you are having a printer and computers, 5 computers, we want to share on 5 computers, we can form a network. So that is called as resource sharing. Second need is reliability. A file can have copies of 2 or 3 different machines. So if one of them is unavailable, hardware crash or something problem in that machine, the other copies could be used. For military, for banking, air reservation and many other application, it is of great importance. Next point, third point is cost factor. Personal computers have better price performance ratio than microcomputers. So it is better to have PCs, one per user, with data stored on one shared file server machine. So in that way we can save cost as well. And the most important use of computer network is communication medium. Using a network, it is possible for managers working far apart to prepare financial report of the company, and the changes at one end can be immediately noticed at another end, and hence it speed up cooperation among them. Now we'll see the applications of network. Uh, First one is sharing, as we have discussed resource sharing. So here there are peripherals we can share, a printer like I have discussed already. That way we can share printers or any other device on a network. uh, Users of multiple user systems can share exchange information in number of ways. Here example is sending electronic mail or having control access to some files or database. This is the way to share the software resources. In the traditional time sharing system, all control is performed centrally. If the processor fails, then the entire system fails. In a network system, this need not be the case. The failure of one node should not have a domain effect on the rest. This is called distributed control and is a very lively area of research at present. So in short, we'll see what are the benefits of computer network. Like we have discussed, resource sharing, increase reliability, reduce overall cost, and better communication facility. Now we'll see the evaluation of network, or we can say the history of network. So the very first term comes ARPANET, and it stands for Advanced Research Project Agency Network. Uh, it started in the year 1969 when U.S. Department of Defense sponsored a project named as ARPANET. The goal of this project was to connect computers at different universities and US defense, America defense spelling is different. So that way it can be used for different universities and defense departments in the US. Soon the engineering scientists, um, students and researchers who were part of this system began exchanging data and messages on it. The users of this system were also able to play long distance games and socialize with people who shared their interest as well. So then it becomes very popular, that ARPANET in the country, and thereafter the National Science Foundation created a new high-speed uh, capacity network called an NSF net, which was more capable than ARPANET. And it was the interconnected networking, the linking of these two and some other networks, the ARPANET, NSFNet, and some privately owned networks, that becomes the global network, and now we are calling it as a internet. You can see the pictures, the evaluation of internet. We can see in 1969 the ARPANET project was introduced. Then 1980s NSF net was um, combined with the ARPANET, and the network is used for scientific and academic purpose, and a research purpose, and uh, about 1990s we can see the internet becomes so popular to other countries as well, uh, and we used to call it as internet. If you see the definition of internet, internet is a worldwide network of computer networks. We can say in short, a network of computer networks. How internet works, that we will see here. uh, In internet, most computers are not connected directly to the internet. Rather, they are connected to smaller networks, which in turns are connected through the gateways to the internet, called as a backbone. Here, there are two terms like gateway and the backbone. If you can see the picture here, we can see smaller networks are connected to each other with the help of gateways here. These gateways are shown in the green color here, green boxes, and these entire gateways are again connected to the backbone of the network. Now here is the concept of packets. At the how this communication takes place on internet. At the source computer, the message or the file document to be sent to the another computer is firstly divided into very small parts called as packets. A packet generally contains some information. Each packet is given a number serial wise 1, 2, 3. All these packets are then sent to the address of the destination computer. So many times we have observed, like suppose we visit a website. So while downloading the web page, it takes time, and that time during that time actually the packets are getting downloaded in your computer. Once all the packets get downloaded, you can see the entire web page on your web browser in the client machine. These packets are reassembled in the order of their number, and the original message or the file document is obtained. Then we'll go for the next one is internet functioning. Here we will introduce a new terminology called as protocol. Uh, Protocol is a standard set of rules. Even if, for example, if we are shaking hands with our friends, means we are using a protocol that shaking hand means greeting each other. So here on computer networks also there are some shaking rules, handshaking rules, and these rules are nothing but the protocols. Uh, there are some popularly used communication protocols on internet, that is TCP/IP. It stands for Transmission Control Protocol, and IP stands for Internet Protocol. Now these two are divided into two parts. TCP takes care of dividing a message into packets, and again further reassembling the received packets to at the destination or recipient computer. And IP, that is the Internet Protocol, is responsible for handling the address or destination of a computer, so that that each packet is routed to send to its proper destination. Then one more term is here, that is interface, interspace. Interspace is a client server software program that allows multiple users to communicate online with real time audio, video, and text chat in dynamic 3D environment. So this uh, we are using on a internet daily, that is interspace. Now few more terminologies, elementary terminologies of the network. That is one is node or a workstation. Node means a computer that are attached to a network. We generally call a PC personal computer if it is not connected to the any network. But if the computer is connected in a network, that computer is called as a node or a workstation. Then next one is a server. A server is having all the shareable stuff stored on it. A network can have more than one server also. Each server has a unique name on a network, and all users of the network uh, identify the server by its unique name. Types of servers. There are two types of servers. One is a non-dedicated server and a dedicated server. On small networks, a workstation that can double up a server is known as non-dedicated server. Since it is not completely dedicated to the cause of serving, such servers can facilitate the resource sharing among workstations on proportionately smaller scale. And next one is the dedicated server. On bigger network installation, there is a computer reserved for the server's job only, and its only job is to help workstations access data, software, hardware and resources. These are the dedicated servers. The networks using such servers are known as master slave network. There are certain types of servers like file servers, printer server, modem server. So these are as per the purpose of that particular server. These are named like printer server takes care of printing requirements of number of workstations, and modem server helps a group of users use a modem to transmit long distance messages. Now, next part is the network interface unit. This is the hardware which we required in the um, computer network. Uh, is a network interface unit is an interpreter that helps establish communication between the server and the workstation. And one more thing we will discuss here, that is MAC address. The MAC address refers to the physical address assigned by NIC manufacturer. So whosoever this network interface card is manufactured, that company will assign a physical address to that, so that on a computer network we can easily identify from which computer the message is transferred to the other machine or a destination machine. There are a few more terminology. The NIU is also called as a terminal access point, TAP. And as I have discussed, like NIC is stands for Network Interface Card. These short names we have to remember with their full forms. In the exam, these type of questions will be asked. Expand the following terms, so there it can be helpful. We will have the another topic, that is switching techniques. This topic we will discuss. There are few types of switching techniques here. Out of these are circuit switching, message switching, and packet switching. So we'll discuss the very first one is circuit switching. In this technique, the first complete physical connection between two computers is established, and then data is transmitted from the source computer to the destination computer. That is, when a computer places a telephone call, the switching equipment within the telephone system seeks out a physical copper path all the way from the sender telephone to the receiver's telephone, and then the communication takes place. That type of technique is called as circuit switching. Then comes a message switching. In this technique, the source computer sends data or message to the switching office first, which stores the data in its buffer. It then looks for a free link to another switching office and then sends the data to this office. This process is continued until the data and are delivered to the destination computer. Owing to this working principle, it is also known as store and forward. That is, store first in switching office, forward later, one jump at a time. Then we will have one more technique of communication, that is packet switching. Packet switching with message switching, there is no limit on block size. In contrast to packet switching, it places tight upper limit on block size. A fixed size of packets, as we have discussed the packets, when a message is delivered to some other machine, it is divided into packets. The fixed size packet which can be transferred across the network is specified. Another point of difference from message switching is that data packets are stored on the disk in message switching, whereas in the packet switching, all the packets of fixed size are stored in the main memory. This improves the performance as access time time taken to access a data packet is reduced. Thus, the throughout throughput measure of the performance of the computer is improved. So we can consider packet switching is better in the performance of communication. uh, in this video we have seen network, what is computer network, and then few hardware devices and few terminologies, and then these switching techniques. In the next video we'll see data communication technologies. Okay, thank you students.